See, those other niggas didn't have no business being out there. No way.
Yo. Happy Sunday. So let's start off right here. I didn't feel like going live today, yo. I didn't feel like going live at all. I got this issue where I get this little headache feeling thing, but it's not really a headache. It's like sinus pressure. So it's kind of annoying all up in here, but guess what? Nigga, we live and we lit. You feel me? Welcome to the Voice of Venus. Venus had a dope show last night. Venus needs 23 or so followers to get to the 1,000 mark. So please, as you all come in all day, you're gonna hear me telling y'all to go and subscribe to Venus's channel. Saturday night is her night. Dope conversations. Shout out to the homie Venus. How you doing? Okay. How's everybody doing today? So we're going to have a quick show today. We have exactly 2 hours until Lucky's Sunday Live, which always starts at 7:30 Central. Sorry, I'm eating this because it makes my head feel a little better. Pause. So let's get right into it. As a matter of fact, I am going to give my opening thoughts. Then I want y'all to come up. So look, the title, as y'all saw, it says, women are children. But I did put a question mark there. I put a question mark there because I don't know the exact answer. See that? And so I put Mr. Leggo on that because Mr. Leggo is the first person I saw say that women are children. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've argued with him. He won't remember because I've only had a few interactions with him on Lapeef, but I really argued with him and probably called him a bitch ass nigga for saying it. But I do want to open this up for question. Now, I can make the case in either direction. I can make the case that women do kind of act like grown children. And then I could also make the case that shit sounds crazy. Oh, you want this shirt? I got you. You know what's crazy? I don't know if you can really see it, but it got a lot of colors in it. It's like a galaxy color, so it's more like the colors of the rainbows in it. So yeah, this is one of my vintage shirts that I'm bringing back. O'Shea says women are adult children. Women are adult children. And he also says I have a snow cone in the middle of winter. O'Shea, I'm in Texas, my boy. It's like 70 degrees today. You feel me? So it's not exactly the middle of winter. All right, so let me make the case. Now, look, I want y'all to understand. On some of these shows, I'm going to lay out a case. You don't know if I believe it or not, but I'm going to lay out the case because I do believe I can argue both sides of an issue. So let's start here. Why I think women are children. The very first thing that I will say is that women, by and large, lack impulse control. Women lack impulse control. It's like they gotta say it. They gotta say that thing. They can't not say the thing. They can't just be like, you know what? Let me just take the high road and let me not just say this shit that I know is gonna make him mad or even hurt his feelings. Because you know what? Men actually have feelings too. Go fucking figure. But a lot of women don't give a fuck about that because they are going to say the thing and they don't give a shit. That shit is like a fucking knife in your neck, son. They gonna say that shit. They know exactly where to poke you with that knife, bro. They know where to poke you with that knife, right in your fucking jugular. It's the jugular right here. It's somewhere over here. Venus says men don't have feelings or souls. That's a fucking lie. Venus, we saw men having feelings and being emotional on your show last night. But let's continue. Now, I would submit that women are like children because women don't even like being around women. Ain't that crazy? Y'all ever peep that a lot of women don't even have a lot of female friends because they really can't get along with each other? Right? That's crazy. Now, look, if the women are honest when they see this, women, ladies, have y'all ever thrown a temper tantrum? And you know you're throwing a temper tantrum and you know you're really just trying to get your way, but maybe you felt like you couldn't control yourself. Also, do you feel like you have to say it? Why do you have to say it? Do you feel like that? Do you just feel like, damn, fuck, maybe I shouldn't have said that? You ever feel like that? You ever had that thought? I know as a man, right? I filter myself a lot. I be thinking mad shit, but I'm like, I ain't gonna say that shit. You know why? Because it's gonna hurt her feelings. You know another reason? It don't even need to be said, even if it's true and even if I'm thinking it. Right? But for some reason, the way that them chromosomes are set up, bro, they can't help it. They just can't help it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So that's the premise of what we're talking about today. Are women children? So anybody, especially anybody with a vagina who wants to chime in, is free to hit the link. I think we're going to get this settled once and for all. Are women children? While I'm waiting for some of y'all to hit the link, we're going to watch a few things. All right, let's check this clip out.
Women are children.
Put it back on me. What?
And this is how it can help.
Here we go.
So all y'all with all that, I'm independent, I don't need no man, we're the smartest. No, it's not working.
If you can believe it, it gets worse.
Be the little girl that you always wanted to be.
Damn, son. That's wild. Now let's hear it from a woman. Let's see what she says.
This is what you have to remember. The average black woman in America don't get no older than about 14. So just talk to her and deal with her like you dealing with a 14-year-old. Don't come at her like you dealing with an equal, because she's not going to be able to accept that. You got to go way back. And we cut off at about 14 or 15. We don't develop and mature no further until we get some new information and accept some different information.
Damn, what y'all think? Does that sound crazy to y'all, or does that sound true? I want to be able to explore that. Mrs. Ali said, treat women like 14-year-olds. She said most women don't develop past 14. I want to watch that one more time just to make sure that we caught what she said.
This is what you have to remember. The average black woman in America don't get no older than about 14. So just talk to her and deal with her like you dealing with a 14-year-old. Don't come at her like you dealing with an equal, because she's not going to be able to accept that. You got to go way back. And we cut off at about 14 or 15. We don't develop and mature no further until we get some new information and accept some different information.
Ooh, that's a lot. Now, I don't like that she talking about black women though, specifically. Let me say that. I don't like that she's specifically talking about black women, which is something I don't do. But I do want to have this conversation. Hey, shout out to my girl Keisha. How you doing, Keisha? So I want to know, Venus, Keisha, whoever feels like having this conversation. Shout out to Kim. What's up, Kim? Venus, Keisha, Kim, whoever wants to have the conversation about this, I'm dropping a link. Are women children? And also, I got more questions for y'all because I need to know about this behavior that y'all be exhibiting sometimes. I got questions that need answers. Because y'all be, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know what's funny though? Even when we're not talking about in a romantic sense, when I'm dating women, because I don't want to put it on me, because I don't want to, get in trouble for, talking about, my chick or nothing like that. Even being a friend of women, I spend a lot of time with some of my friend girls, talking them off the ledge and trying to get them to understand that you are fucking bugging. You bugging. And what you're saying is unfair. And why are you treating that man like that? Now, sometimes as men, we are absolutely wrong. Sometimes we are the problem. But sometimes y'all just be bugging. Do y'all not think that? Let's see what Kim said. Kim said maybe she means our growth is stunted because of our environments. I can jack that, Kim. I can. I can jack that. I do think that a lot of times, from what I've seen, there are lots of women whose parents do a lot of things for them, or who, like the men around them or whoever, their family just do a lot of things for them. So they do have a really good support system, and sometimes that support system can enable you. Now, sometimes in terms of that support system enabling you, it will enable good behavior. But sometimes, and I'm being honest, this doesn't just go for women. Sometimes your support system can enable bad behavior. It just can. Right? So yeah, I get what Kim is saying about sometimes maybe it's a function of our environments. The funny thing, right? And I know this is off topic, and I know we're talking about women, but in terms of men, with me being in the mentoring field for a lot of my career, I've dealt with young guys who were really tough guys, but they had lots of moments where it was just me and them. Either they would call me or just in person, where they would break down and you would see the little boy in them. And these are guys who are popular with the women. They're tough, but once they take down that facade, you can see that the little boy is still in them, and they do need that moment to release and to be vulnerable and to just share and have somebody comfort them. I do think that's very true about women too. I do think that's true too. Let's see what everybody is saying in the chat. Good evening. Good evening. What's up, twin? How you doing? Let's see what O'Shea said. Women are adult children. Biblically, the man is the head of women. 1. 2, women want men to protect and provide for them, even those who have their own. 3, women sidestep accountability. That's interesting. Ladies, what do y'all think? I want y'all honest opinion. Do y'all think that at times women sidestep accountability? What I realize is that some people hate talking to me because I do see both sides of most things, and a lot of times I'm trying to be fair and I'm coming down on the side of women because I do think that guys at times we judge women too harshly and that we're not being fair. But on some of these issues, ladies, I gotta tell y'all be bugging. Let's see what my girl Keisha said. A lot of women, especially in the black community, aren't taught how to deal with men. Keisha, that is a very good point. That's a very good point. And now look, I just want to give y'all this disclaimer for this conversation. I could argue this either way. So just know that when I'm arguing this, making this argument, I'm not set on either one of these opinions. I'm just trying to have a conversation, right? I want people to just explore the possibility that we could be the problem, right? You know how like when you're young and maybe you're a parent or something like that. Let's say you're a parent and you have kids and you'd be like, those other kids are a bad influence on my kid. You know, sometimes your kid is the bad fucking influence, right? Sometimes you are the bad apple. Sometimes you are the bad vibe. Sometimes you are the fucking problem. And I don't think that we're introspective enough, often enough, to admit that sometimes we are the fucking problem. In a lot of my relationships, shout out to my boy Thanos in the building, R&B bandits in the building. We in this bitch. Shout out to my boy Thanos Theory, right? A lot of times, man, me personally, Shawn, I've been the problem in so many relationships. Let me tell you, so many relationships. And not necessarily that I was like, I'm not argumentative, right? I'm not argumentative. I'm not toxic per se in the traditional sense, but I was always a cheater. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the problems that precipitated from me being a cheater or me being emotionally unavailable, I used to blame those things on the woman. You feel me? But what I was doing in that moment was, yeah, I played a role, but overall, that was a symptom or a byproduct of, the fuck shit I was doing. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think enough people are honest with themselves about that. I don't think enough people are introspective enough about that. And the people around me, some of them, would only enable my behavior because I'm only telling them my part of it. And so they're like, man, fuck them bitches, blah, 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 blah. Not knowing the whole time I'm just out here grimy as fuck. So their advice, didn't help me. It ultimately enabled me. So I do think that a lot of women have that same problem. You know what I'm saying? Because what we do with our stories, we make ourselves the hero and the victim in our stories. We always do. We always do. We mostly do. How often does your homegirl, and I'm talking to the ladies, how often does your homegirl come to you and be like, girl, I did some fucked up shit. I did some fucked up shit in XYZ. And then this nigga Thanos did XYZ, girl. He did XYZ. But you know what we'll do? We'll leave out what we did and we'll go straight to what he did. And so that's why I say most of the time people's advice to you is worthless because they don't have all the information. All they have is what you give them. So how can it be something of value? You know? All right, let's see what Kim said. Kim said, no, women, most of the time we do follow men. So we follow men's examples. So the question is, do men take responsibility? Kim, sometimes the answer to that is sometimes men do, sometimes men don't. But then, if we're being fair, we'd have to admit that sometimes women don't take accountability or responsibility. That's just the truth. I've been in, let me tell you, I've been in a multitude of relationships where even when the woman is wrong, she won't apologize or admit she's wrong until I apologize. Even if I'm not wrong and I'm trying to keep the peace, then I'll apologize. And it's not until I make the apology and extend that olive branch that she'll be like, well, I guess you're right. I'm sorry. And this is a real life example. And yes. So it's not just men, it's women too. All right, let's see what O'Shea said. O'Shea said, women are adult children. They want a man that can handle them and or won't let a man run over him. Okay. So he's saying that they want a man that can handle them. That's true. Women do say that. Like, yeah, because we go into it thinking like, yeah, I may have to make some adjustments. Well, I go into it. Let me not say that. I go into it now thinking I may have to make some adjustments to some things. But a lot of people definitely go into it like, yeah, now he needs to make the adjustments to me or he has to handle me. That is absolutely true, O'Shea. It's absolutely true. There was something else I want to show y'all too. So y'all can join the conversation at any moment. I dropped the link. But in the meantime, I want to show y'all something too, because this is interesting. This is very interesting. Let me change my screen orientation. Let's see. Now look, y'all know I'm still goddamn new to this YouTube thing. So look, check this out. Let me go to the beginning.
YouTube, man, what's good? It's your boy, Robert the Sauce Man, here with another freaking video, bro. Y'all didn't even see this coming, you feel me? As y'all can see, right here behind me, the ladies today, we have 8 ladies blind dating 6 men based off of mugshots, you feel me? These are not here to break down anybody. All my guys behind this curtain has grown, you feel me? So I know what y'all saying in the comments right now, but everybody behind it, y'all done grown, bro?
Oh, God.
Hell yeah.
I'm not that same guy.
Yeah,
we ain't going back.
I'm older. They done, you feel me? They done found God and some more shit, you feel me? So look, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash the like button if you haven't. Comment if you have subscribed, roll the 500K, no cap. All right, so look, pretty much, we calling each lady out one by one, and they gonna pick their guy based off the mugshot, you feel me? You know, a lot of women, I ain't gonna say all these women we chose, but you feel me? They like fucking with guys like this type shit, you feel me? Not all, so we gonna see, you feel me? Let me get the first lady out. First lady, come right here real quick, introduce yourself, all that. What I got with me, bro?
Melissa.
Melissa, all right, so look, you know what we doing today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so pretty much you go down the line, you judge these guys based off mugshot, and then you pick who you want. You feel
Okay.
me? You can ask any questions, all that. Any questions from any guy. Ask
Can I skip some if I know they're not my type?
Yeah, but tell us why you skipping.
Okay. I'm going to skip because you're not my type.
Okay.
You might be my type. I don't know, the picture a little blurry. They're my friend.
You know him?
I know
You know
him.
what he went in for?
No, because I know he had no much shot.
Okay, damn. So you disappointed in a friend?
I am.
Okay.
Because I know he was like that.
You might could have blamed him. You didn't?
No, for real. Okay.
Shit.
Him, I know look like he's on the phone with a bitch.
Oh, you think he was on the phone with
Yes, a bitch. A lady.
And I don't know, bro. It was like it was a bad.
No, it looks like he was on the phone with a lady. All right. Him. How much your bond?
Oh shit. Just how much you buying, bro?
4,500.
4,500.
That's nothing. All right.
Okay.
Him, he looks too old for me.
Right here?
Yes. He been in there for a long time.
Wait. What you tell the camera? What you think?
And he look, I don't know, like stole a car, some shit like that.
You said stole a car?
Did you steal a car?
Hell no. So you think I'm Jay?
I don't know. Nothing
All right.
else.
So pretty much, man, you went down the line. You scanned each mugshot. If you had to pick one guy, who you picking?
Him.
Right here?
Yes.
All right. So pretty much, you know, when he come around this curtain, he has to accept as well too, right?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So look, walk down this way, bro. That way right here. You slide this way. All right. So look, pretty much based off now, you feel me? You was probably in a bad stage right there. Based off now, you still accepting?
Yeah.
All right. So if she pulled up type shit and she came to bind you out, you staying in or you leaving?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm staying.
Yo, so look, y'all. Let me bring me back. Yo, did y'all see that? Hold on, son. Look, bruh. Yo, first off, imagine, right? Imagine y'all are parents. A lot of y'all are parents, right? So imagine this beautiful child of yours, right? My bad, y'all. I'm trying to get the screen right. This beautiful child of yours, you nurtured this kid. You wiped this kid's ass. You raised this kid up. And that kid is your daughter, right? And your daughter ends up on the show dating a nigga off of his mugshot. What? What, boy? What? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Then you did all that only for this nigga to dub you. You chose this man, was willing to pay his bond, hypothetically. Then he said, nah, I'm going to go ahead and stay in jail. Imagine a nigga staying in jail because he don't want you to pay his bond. That is wild. That's wild. But look, it gets back to the bigger conversation. And we had this conversation, I think it was on Venus' channel. We had this conversation, right? I think people are not as deep as we make them out to be. They're not. So all they're doing, right? Yeah, matter of fact, we had this conversation last night on Venus' channel. This was the conversation. They were saying that people, Candace Owens said that people date their IQ. She said that people basically date people who are somewhere like their intellectual equal or something like that. And I say that's bullshit. People ain't that fucking deep. People ain't that fucking insightful. And people are not that intentional. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't think people date their IQ. I think people date who's attractive. First and foremost, the very first metric, if I'm in the club, I'm looking around, I'm seeing who's attractive. I'm seeing who got a fat ass. I'm seeing who dress fly. I'm seeing who can dance. I'm seeing how she moves. I'm seeing who got the vibe. I don't give a fuck about your intellect at that moment. Why would I care? All I know is I can pull bad chicks. And out of the bad chicks I can pull, yeah, cool. Then we start splitting hairs. Now who's smart? Now who's ambitious? Now who got a vibe? Now who's a soft place to land? Now who has a sense of humor? But none of that matters if you ain't my type. I don't give a fuck about none of that, right? And so how this ties back into the conversation, right? If you see Shorty was willing to date one of these jailbird niggas, which is crazy, right? Which is crazy. So the question that I'm asking y'all, do y'all think that most people have bad judgment when it comes to dating? Do y'all think that most people have bad judgment when it comes to dating? I'm interested in seeing what y'all think. The person that y'all are currently dating or married to, the person that y'all are currently dating or married to, did y'all choose them based on their IQ? Or did y'all choose them because that man was fine or that woman was fine? Thanos, yeah, he was bugging. Yo, he was bugging. He was bugging last night. He was straight tweaking. I don't think people are that deep, but I will make the case that in some ways, some of y'all are like children. And I don't even be agreeing with Mr. Lego, but I will make that case. Yo, see, Thanos is real. I check for IQ after I see how fine she is. Man, that's real, right? Are any of y'all gonna come and tell me different, bro? We don't care about your IQ when we first meeting you. I met my girl outside the club. I didn't know shit about her IQ. My boy knew her friend at the time. Me and her started talking. We was kind of vibing, cracking jokes. I'm like, oh yeah, she's pretty and she's funny. That was it. It wasn't nothing else. My first thought was, shit, shorty fine. I'm gonna smash. Don't y'all let these niggas lie to y'all. It's about them cheeks. It's about, do I want to butter them buns? That's it. Everything else, secondary, tertiary. It's a bonus. It's a bonus if you're intelligent. Yeah, that's great. But day one, week one, before sex one, I don't give a fuck. Why would I care about that at that point? I hadn't even decided if I'm going to keep you. So why would I care about your intellect? O'Shea says, women make bad judgments. Women make mistakes. O'Shea also said men make bad judgments. And also says women make mistakes again. So that's a good point, O'Shea. So I think I'm going to rest my case on a lot of women are children emotionally. I'm not talking about black women. I'm talking about women in general. A lot of women do act like kids emotionally because they have temper tantrums. And so I know this guy's going to have an interesting opinion on it. Yeah, I loved him when he came the other week. It's my boy, Anthony. What up, Ant?
Shawn Boogie.
What up, dog? Uh-oh. And
man, you bring the wonderful topics, man.
My homegirl about to come up here too, and I know she gonna be on some demon time. What's up, dog?
Chilling, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you feel about this topic?
Man, feel real interesting, and it's crazy when we talk about women and their responses and men and their approaches. Because I remember when it came to certain women, at what stage I was in my life. Like I had to be taught by men how to address women and how they respond. So, for example, my first example was my mother and her relationships. I never rarely seen my mom raise her voice at a man, and I always seen her in a serving way. But I seen her be very selective of the man she chose to deal with too. Um, as opposed to some of my sisters, they like the, how can I put it, guys in and out of jail, using their car, taking their gas, not filling it up, them type of guys. And but one thing I know, like, I forgot what the main topic was. I lost my thought that quick. It's a good subject.
Oh, it's about women being children.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Well, when it comes to the term children is harsh, but one thing I can say, we're emotionally different. So what I had to learn, I cannot address a woman like I would address a man. And what I'm saying, that the distinct difference, the response is a more delicate emotional response. Because, for example, I could ask her, why you mad? What you tripping for? And she'll give me a response, and I'm just like, in my mind sometimes, like, I didn't even know I did that. And to me, honestly, it doesn't make sense. But let me try to dig more into what she's actually saying so I can gain some context. But it's very different because I've dealt with women in my early 20s, but then I've dealt with some more mature women too in my lifetime. So there is a vast difference. But I guess it all depends where she's gotten her examples from.
I think that's a very, very fair point, because I do think we all extract things from our interactions and from our environment. Now, the thing I must say, when I was being honest about myself, I chose to extract certain things from my upbringing. Like my uncles were, a couple of my uncles were more like pimps. You know what I'm saying? One of them was for sure. You know what I'm saying? And they had certain opinions of women that I adopted. But I can't say that my brothers necessarily adopted those. Also, in terms of things that went on in our neighborhood, I chose to get involved in those things and my brothers didn't. So I do think that what you're saying is absolutely true, but I think that there are things that we can choose to pick up from our environment. Like let's say you had a brother, and you saw your dad beat your mom. One of y'all could choose to be like that. The other one could say, no, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be the exact opposite. So I do think to some degree it is a choice.
100% agree. Where's the Venus? What does she have to say? Where is she?
It's Venus.
What you got on this topic, Venus?
Which part? Women being children?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to be like very much against that perspective, but the more I think about it, I don't know if I all the way disagree anymore. Because I think about me, right? It's like, yeah, I want my man to baby me, okay? Maybe not all day, every day, but absolutely. Like, I want you to take on more responsibility than me. I want you to fucking baby me. Yes, I do. So I guess, listen, whatever. If that's what he meant, I kind of agree. But the part I don't like about it is like it kind of indicates that we can't make adult decisions. We can't do things on our own. And that's just not true. There's a lot of women who are honestly more advanced than men, mentally, emotionally, just way past them. So I don't know. Like I kind of feel like 50-50 in some regard. I understand why he said it. But then when I get to comparing people on very basic levels and there's a bunch of women outpacing you mentally, then I don't know if it's a fair thing to say.
I get that. I think that he was saying as it relates to a relationship in terms of emotional regulation. Now, I will say a lot of dudes can't regulate their emotions in general, but as it relates to relationships, I have seen personally, just a lot of women who just don't have that regulation, and it does feel like temper tantrums.
And
It can't feel like that.
can I ask you a question? Because what does regulation look like? Because the way a lot of men deal with their emotion isn't necessarily regulating it either. Choosing not to acknowledge how you feel about things. choosing to act like certain things just don't exist, just aren't happening, choosing to ignore problems just to avoid conflict. I don't know if that's necessarily regulating anything either, more than that's just like avoidance. So
Yeah.
that might be a
What you,
different way of you just not even being able to manage your emotions either.
what you think about that, Ant?
Emotional regulation is, I always get this wrong. Is this subjective or objective? Shawn, help me out. What's the one? The one that's not factual? You know, we always talk about this. It's
Subject.
the one I think that's tailored towards each individual. And I'm gonna give some examples on my end. There was times when I was not able to verbally state how I felt. I just got angry and I was quiet because I didn't want to blow up. And there have been times I've been with certain women that they would go off. And what I mean, just keep saying negative stuff back to back to back to intentionally hurt my feelings. And I think in my mind, like, no matter how mad I got, I would never say nothing like that to you because I care more about you as a person than just to insult you. And that used to always bother me. But I had to learn how to regulate for the sake of the relationship. What I mean is, matter of fact, I just had this happen to me, a female friend. Now, mind you, she's 47. I am 39. She would throw these tantrums that would be so long. And I used to tell her, like, you know, as a perspective, I said, you're going to have a difficult time in your relationships if you continue to respond that way to things that make you uncomfortable. Now, if you would like to talk, we can sit and dig deeper into what's, you might be mad at something else that you could never pause and just say what she was mad at. I would have to either pull it out of her or, but I didn't scorn her for it, if that makes sense. I would always try to, like, hey, I would give her tips like, hey, you can't, the way you're reacting, I say with a certain type of guy, you're going to get a very, very bad response. But I'm not like that. So I'd rather tell you as a friend. And she made a statement, you're always mean to me, the way you talk to me. I'm like, no, sweetheart, I think I'm telling you the truth and you may not be accustomed to hearing it. And then I had to think too, what was I being too forceful with her? But I just felt like as a friend, and she was a friend, I had to tell her, like, sweetheart, that's not going to work long term, but that's not for me to help you with. That's something you're going to have to work through on your own. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and I think Venus, emotional regulation, it can look different. I think it looks different for different people, but for women, I'll say Anthony got to what I was saying. A lot of times, it's literally having, like, so say for instance, I get into an argument with a woman I'm dating, and she has to belabor the point. She has to have the last word. She has to have a response for everything. She has to say the shit that she thinks is going to be the most hurtful. You know what I'm saying? She has to say that. Whereas me, I'm just thinking, like, I don't even have it, in me to just, be like, well, fuck you with your big head ass, or you know what I'm saying? That's why your pussy smell like salmon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that in me. But women do. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga,
Oh,
nigga, yeah, your
Shit
dick
get
ain't.
real, don't it?
Yeah, they say some wild shit that. Oh.
I've been on the receiving end of some of those. God, if you was a dude,
How you cry when you
bro,
get in
I've
the
been
car.
that got at you, like,
Get at you real quick. You feel me?
right? I'm like, dang, you ballsy, man.
Yeah, get at you real quick. But just also, and sometimes it's, I swear to God, it's the smallest thing. It's the smallest thing, and just like it feels like the woman is falling out in the middle of the floor, kicking and crying like a kid. Now, I'm the type of parent that'll let you cry until your throat hurts, right? But that makes it feel like in a relationship I'm cold, but I'm not cold. That's just how I am. Like, if I feel like you're exhibiting bad behavior, I'm not going to enable it. I'm not going to energize the negative. I'm gonna let you figure that shit out. Then you come and holler at me when you figure it out, because I don't want to have to be every single time the one who extends the olive branch, the one who breaks the silence, the one who has to be the adult in the room. I want to know, do women never feel like, you know what, let me be the adult in the room. Let me just, let me just dead this shit.
Good
some women
point.
do. It just depends on the woman. Because I had a female friend who said exactly what you're saying. She was having this complaint. I'm always the one that go to him. I'm always the one trying to mend things. I'm always the one. He's never the one. So I mean, I guess it just depends on the woman. I'm
Yeah,
personally not probably not that woman, but you know, they out there. Okay.
but what if, once again, like I said, we make ourselves out to be the heroes and the victims in our stories? What if, I'm sorry my brain went here, what if she's the problem? What if she's the problem and she's waiting for him to fix it? And he's like me, he's like, nah, you're the problem. So you fix it.
Mm.
I will say this. I think because a lot of men do that, maybe it did encourage women to develop into a stage where it's so hard to take responsibility because you're so used to like the man being a bigger person.
Hmm.
You never really been in a position where you had to take accountability.
You
Hmm.
know what,
You don't even
Venus?
know what
That's
it
a
looks
good
like.
point. That's a good point, and I'm glad you said that from a female perspective, because I think that's the issue I was having with her, and I keep going back to her because that's what I was telling her. I says, you don't think that anything that you do there's an issue with it? Like when you address me about something, I look at you and I inquire about it. Hey, okay, look, this wasn't my intention to make you feel that way, but this is why I did what I did. You know what I mean? We're gonna remain friends. There's some boundaries we're gonna have to set. Like I'm not gonna allow you to do whatever you want to around me, and I would hope vice versa. But when I bring it up, I'm attacking you, I'm yelling. But when you bring it up, it's your fault, which goes back to what you said, no accountability. And then I've been with women too that have been like, hey, sweetheart, I'm sorry for raising my voice at you. I didn't mean to I was just angry. And in my mind, what that does to me, I'm like, damn, you know what? I actually respect her too. Maybe I was tripping. So I'm sorry that we had to cross that bridge. Let's try not to keep crossing that bridge. And then the relationship goes up a notch. But when you keep going back and forth, it just stays stagnant. And then the other person grows a resentment. And you just hope that it doesn't grow too far where it grows y'all apart.
It's unfortunate. There's a lot of things now that I'm thinking about it, like contributing factors that make a person that can make a person that way. Like an adult who is just so uncomfortable with taking responsibility to me is a child who never had to, right? Like nowhere you were never brought up to like understand when you're wrong and face repercussions and have someone explain to you, yeah, there are consequences for bad actions, right? You just kind of been going through life. Nobody told you that. And then if you were a woman and you got in relationships with men who just decided to like kind of coddle the situation, then you could kind of still be like a whole adult again, like the woman you described. When she's finally faced with accountability, she doesn't even understand. It does feel like an attack to her because it never happened. So now she's responding to this attack that she feels, right? So then you get nowhere. Because I seen that in my ex. My ex was like that. He was like so I don't know how to explain. Like he just could not take responsibility for things. Like if you any the slightest criticism would upset him so bad. And it took me a while to figure out why. And then it was like, oh, yeah, you just never had to. So any little thing feels like somebody is personally attacking you when I'm not. So yeah, I think that even starts from childhood. Like people just letting people kind of float through life without, I get it. Like everything's not worth acknowledging, but some things are.
Good point.
Or
Good
like
point.
letting people get away with bullshit. Like you ever seen somebody mess up or just do something wrong, whatever, and then they make an excuse immediately, and you know
Oh,
it's bullshit. They know it's bullshit, right? But sometimes you want to be nice, so you just let them have it. And I get it. Like again, you don't have to acknowledge everything, but what I realized about that is that's how you create that kind of person. They have been given the okay their whole life to make excuses for shit. So the minute somebody challenges those excuses, this is unfamiliar. Usually I could say some bullshit and everybody lets it go. Why aren't you letting it go? You're the problem.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And I know we can I know we started off talking about women, but this can be applied to men too. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I know some people who right now are spoiling their kids, and you can see that it's a problem. Like they don't allow anybody else in the family or anything to correct the kid or to guide the kid, they always, always, you know, take the kid's side, no matter if the kid is wrong or not. And you can see what it's setting up, what dynamic is being set up. So yeah, I agree because I think how did this conversation, this thought came about in a lot of ways, and I think was that me and you talking the other day about with women whether things are a function of society or whether they're biological. So yeah, that's what we were talking about with certain things
Yeah.
with women. Like just wondering, like, is this just, are some of these things just encoded in a woman's DNA, or are they just a function of society teaching us how to teach women, which in turn, of course, teaches women what to expect, or it hardwires or conditions women to be a certain way. It says that these certain things are okay. Like, say, for instance, if we all walk into a restaurant, our brain, me and Anthony, is going to say, grab the door. As a woman, you could not even ever know what the door feels like because that's not your function in life. Your function in life is to stand to the side and wait for us to hold the door. We know that that's just our job. You know what I'm saying? If it's raining outside, it's my job to say, wait here. I'm going to go out here in this rain and go to the parking lot and get the car and come back with an umbrella, and I'm going to hold it and I'm going to get wet so that you can get, experience the least amount of rain as possible. So I do think societally, we do sometimes for good, a lot of times for good, we do enable certain beliefs, which is kind of like the princess treatment.
That's it. That's there's a lot wrapped up in there. We were talking about that. And I think the comparison I gave was when I dated a woman that was from Jamaica, as opposed to some of the American relationships I had. And the vast difference I had to learn. I think biologically, women, they obviously we know are nurturers. They're more intertwined with the emotional aspects of the human interaction. And the man, we're more concerned with the overall structural part of what's going on around us. Like you said, we pull the door, protect. Women receive things in life, men give them. So it's this plus and minus that, ultimately comes together. And I remember I had gave her some money to do something. We were in college. I gave her like $200. I said, buy you something, but make this money stretch because I don't get paid till next week. She went and spent all the money, came back with some crazy stuff. And I got so upset with her. I was like, what is wrong with you? I said, why would you do that? I just told you. And in my mind, conditioning of my previous relationships, I was ready for an argument. She turned to me and she said, I am so sorry. I won't do that again. I bought a little too much stuff. And it was silence. And I was like kind of confused, like, oh shit. I had to apologize. Look. I'm not trying to curse you out, sweetheart. I'm just trying to tell you. But it blew me back, and I was just like, because societally, they are trained a little differently. And this is not my argument against American women and non-American women. I just had never been in a relationship like that where she had heed to my request, and it was a notch I had to learn too. So,
Damn. That's wild. But you know what's funny? You make me think about the fact that a lot of things people will say, just like, with me being Muslim, a lot of times I hear people in America say things are like, well, Muslims do this and Muslims do that when they talk about the Middle East, but not realizing that it's not a Muslim thing. It's a cultural thing there, which means that in certain parts of Saudi Arabia, things like that, the Muslims and the Christians there adhere to the same types of things, but we'll attribute it to them being Muslim, but it's really just a cultural thing in general. And so maybe just here in general, just like how Shahrazad Ali was saying something about black women, I don't know how she could segment it and make it a black woman thing versus it being a woman thing in general in the United States. So I did find that interesting. So I just want to, while y'all are here, I just want to play that one more time because I do think what she said, not that I agree with it, I just think it's interesting.
This is what you have to remember. The average black woman in America don't get no older than about 14. So just talk talk to her and deal with her like you dealing with a 14-year-old. Don't come at her like you dealing with an equal, because she's not going to be able to accept that. You got to go way back. And we cut off at about 14 or 15. We don't develop and mature no further until we get some new information and accept some different information.
Now,
Oh, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my fucking life. What?
I just heard that last part for the first time, though. Right. That last part, though, I think was important. I didn't hear that the first time. She said, until we get some new information. I think after hearing that part, I think it made it a little more palatable for me.
So then it contradicts the rest of the statement until they get some new information. So what if I get new information at 15? What are you talking about?
Right. Right. Because I think what she's saying could be true about everybody. It's not just a black woman thing. It's not just a woman thing. It's just a thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just a thing because we got to admit, we all know niggas. You know what I'm saying? We all know a bunch of dudes that are fucking, them niggas is just savages and they don't behave like grown men. They never advance past a certain point in life, mentally, emotionally. They just never did. So I do think this is something that we can, apply to a lot of people. It ain't just black women. It's not just women.
I think it's dumb in general. I'm sorry. Like, that's just a crazy thing to say. Most black women do not age past 14. Based on what? Like, what is that based on? That's just her guess? Like, is there a test? Like, what is it? Where's that coming from?
What were you saying that? My bad.
No, I think I've seen that clip before. I would like to see more of the interview, but with the short clip, I always think in context of what she was talking about. But I agree with her in the aspect where she was saying you have to approach women differently. Because when I was at my early stages of relationships, like, my 19, 20-year-old, I would address women like men and would expect the same reaction as if I was talking to a dude. You understand what I'm saying? It would get upset. And I didn't understand it. Like, yo, this is not, you wouldn't, how can I put it? I just understand that I had to approach him like I was approaching my sister. It's more of a caring concern, but I made the mistake too of jumping on that emotional roller coaster too long and found myself all over the place. And then in other relationships, I had to learn, hey man, you don't ride that roller coaster. You can say what I need to say, do what I need to do, and let that be it. But I'm not saying like shut her down. Like, it's just certain things as a man you got to stand for, and you got to move the whole boat. I'm speaking metaphorically. I can't sit, just like certain things that she may do within the house that I don't interfere with. You know what I mean? I just let her run that lane and get out of her way. But as a man, I had to learn through relationships what my responsibility was, because I honestly thought my job is to go to work, pay what I need to pay, come home, and I don't have to do anything else. Like, I can go out if I want, because that's the example I seen in some of my male role models. But then little did I know that that ain't how that go.
Now, both of y'all said some things that made me think. Venus, you said, where did that come from? And I was trying to think, where could it possibly come from her? I don't know if she's talking about her own personal interactions with women. I don't know if she's talking about her observations. I don't know if she's looking at all this wild shit women post online and she's responding to that. I don't know if it's a combination of things. It is a wild claim to make. And then adding that at the end does make it seem like, well, what's the point? I don't know. I think that's a good question that you asked. I don't know. So then this one, right? Let me see. His version. Let's hear his version one more time.
Women are children.
Put it back on me. What?
And this is how it can help.
Here we go.
So all y'all with all that, I'm independent, I don't need no man, we're the smartest. No, it's not working.
If you can believe it, it gets worse.
Be the little girl that you always wanted to be.
So I I've wrestled with this so many times. I hate hearing him say that, right? But I did hear his explanation a little bit. I understand what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, as a man, well, my understanding of what he's trying to say, as a man, you take all the burden, you do all the heavy lifting and all the decision making, blah, 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 blah. And you, as a woman, are free to just be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do. Venus, does that sound better when it's like that? Say it like that.
I'm sorry, say that again.
He was basically saying, my understanding of what he was saying, as the man, you take on all the burdens, the responsibilities, you figure all the things out. And as a woman and as a man, your job is to free your woman up to be whatever she wants to be, whatever her childhood dreams were. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that last part where he was saying, be the little girl that you always wanted to be. That's my understanding of it. Does that make it more palatable?
That could be an interpretation. But I could just always see some women being offended by that no matter what.
Yeah. But I think if you package that right, it sounds like every woman's dream, right? Every woman who wants a man that's going to take care of everything, it's not because think about it, right? All right, let's make this argument. Because I did hear him say this, right? After I called him a bitch ass nigga. But basically, like, women say they want a man, they don't want a 50-50 man. They want a man that's going to take care of everything, right? They want to be the passenger seat princess, and they want princess treatment only. So what he's saying is the man pays for everything. The man is the leader. The man makes all the hard decisions, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to work. You can relax. What do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? You want to open up a business? What do you want to do? You want to travel? Do that. What was your childhood dream? I'm going to do all the things so that you can be free and be in a position to do all of that. I would think that would land a man a very nice woman if he had that proposition.
I agree.
I just think he says it like a dickhead.
I mean, well, if that's what he means, I get it. But again, there's a strong, like, if you talk to a true feminist, like a real feminist, they don't see it that way. There are a group of women who take pride in their own independence. So it's nice to say that's every woman's dream, but it's really not every woman's dream. It's not.
You're right.
Some women want to be bosses. They want to be leaders. They want to be independent of men. Like, it's really not. And so that's the problem.
You're right. We call them women lonely. Catwoman. I'm playing.
I mean, you might be right, but that don't change what they want. They don't
No, I'm playing.
A man. They don't want to be sitting in the house being your little prince. They don't desire that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that.
No, it's fine. It could be real, but just the priority for that woman is not the same as the other woman, right? So, like, that whole lonely thing might bother the other woman who's seeking male validation, but the one who isn't, she doesn't care.
No, that makes perfect sense. So now that, let's just say he was talking about that. He's talking about the man carrying the whole load. Would you prefer to be in a situation where the man took care of all the finances and things like that? Or do you feel like you just want to contribute to it? Like, you insist on contributing to the household financially?
Before I would have always said no, but now it's like, yeah, shit, let them do it. I don't care.
I feel you. And do you like, if you had a choice, would you want a woman to have some financial skin in the game, or do you want to take care of everything?
That's a good point. If I had it like that, I don't know, it's an ego thing. Yeah, I like to take care of everything, but I would want her to contribute to something for her own sanity. Because if I'm just taking care of everything, there's still will leave some type of void for you as a person. Like, you have to be an individual at some point. I mean, in my marriage, I was like that, but I wouldn't say it like I pay for everything. What I mean is, I paid the mortgage, the car notes, and like the major bills, but she took care of everything inside the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything that we ate or whatever, I think she paid one utility bill, but I pretty much took care of everything. But what that did is she was a very good supporter, like, for what I needed to do. Like, if it was something I was trying to do, she would get the plane tickets. She would know where I'm gonna stay. When I went to buy my car, she negotiated all. You know what I mean? Like she just was good like that. I would pay for everything. I don't have a problem with it. And if, like you mentioned, that's what I was taught. Actually, that's what I seen my dad do. So I don't know any other way.
That makes sense. Now, Venus, if you don't mind, I want to touch on this IQ conversation again. Would you mind explaining? Like, I don't know if you remember exactly how it came up. Oh, it was the Candace Owens thing. You mind framing that conversation? So I want to see what Aunt thinks about it.
I could just pull up the clip if you want.
Okay. Yeah, please do.
Give me a second.
Please do. She's gonna pull up a clip. She's gonna pull up a clip, man, and it's interesting. It was really interesting. It was based on Candace Owens talking on the Breakfast Club. Candace Owens, who I think is a piece of shit in a lot of ways. I do. I think she's a piece of shit as it relates to black people. I do think she's intelligent, though.
No argument from me. I
just think she has a lot of self-hatred going on, and she panders to the creamy male people. She panders to the mayonnaise people, and I don't like that shit. So I can't let myself get past that to care about anything she says, really.
You heard me that the clip is in the back?
Oh, it's in the back? Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So let me pull this up. Okay. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me share. All right. Share screen. Lord. Pull the screen up, Shawn. All right. We're going to share. All right. I see a message in it.
Married a white man.
Damn. Wait 1 second, y'all.
People will hear you say, well, Candace, you're speaking a lot about, the black family, but then you married a white man.
Yeah,
Dr. Umar would have a huge problem with it.
Okay, I would love to talk to him more about that because, I mean, it's always very interesting to me to hear this paradox of black people who will make an argument that, the system is racist and then also make an argument like this, which is essentially making an argument for the Supreme Court to revisit Virginia versus Love and basically say that black Americans and white Americans shouldn't be marrying. I think the greatest thing ever is when people come together on the basis of who they love and get married. For me personally, I never thought of my husband as a race. It's just very interesting to me that see people go, she's married to a white man. When I look at my kids, I'm not like, oh, my kids are mixed. I married the person that it made the most sense for me to marry. I have a mind that is just, if you even knew half the things that I'm thinking about, the stuff that I'm reading, just go all the time. It was difficult for me to find a partner that was a challenge to me, the challenge that I needed, whether you want to say like an academic challenge, whatever it is, with my same interests. It just was. What you will know, a lot of times people think that when people come together, it's because of how they look. Actually, I actually read this in a Thomas Sowell book, or maybe it was a Shelby Steele book. People tend to marry their IQ, which is interesting. You think like if you see two black people together, oh, it's because they are two black people, but actually they are probably better matched based on their IQ. I fell in love with my husband just because I think he is one of the most brilliant people ever. I love him very much. The stuff that we talk about, I'm like, there is no other person that I could have married. We have 3 beautiful children who are growing up in an environment that I am just.
So what did you want me to say? Explain.
Okay.
Look, Sugar said Candace said nothing wrong.
Of course, that's what was said. No, I think you the clip helped. But Aunt had to go and run some errands, but the clip helped. So I think so. First off, she said people date their IQ. She didn't say anything about a high IQ. She didn't say about anybody being super intelligent. So in that respect.
But just to make some clarity, she said she was talking about marriage.
Right. Yeah. She said she did say marry
Yeah.
But what I don't think, right? Shout out to Empress that said Candace Owens is a grifter. I agree. Fucking grifter. No love to travel one. No love to that. And they said she said nothing wrong. I just don't think, right? I don't think people are that insightful. My bad. I don't think people are that insightful. I don't think people are saying, hey, she's the one because she's intelligent. I think it's one of the components. I just don't think it's a main component, the main component. So maybe
I
that's why.
I guess I kind of disagree. And again, they're just opinions, but in my mind, dating and marriage are different, right? Like
Mhm.
you may or may not have the same standard for the person people you date, as opposed to when you decide, okay, I want to get married, right?
Mhm.
So when I hear her say things like naturally people mesh, I forgot what she said, but basically like people who marry are closely aligned in IQ.
Mhm.
I do think it's true. It doesn't negate the fact that they might be heavily attracted to each other. It doesn't negate the fact that there are other variables, right? Are you
Mhm.
funny? Are you whatever, whatever? But I guess my question would be, what does IQ actually indicate about a personality? If I can get clarity on that, I probably could explain it better. But I do think there is a correlation between your IQ and you and your partner being close in IQ, and speaks to like relatability and compatibility and having similar sense of humors. And like, I don't know if I'm reaching, but in my mind, I think us being close in IQ could possibly um influence our personality type to some extent. I don't
Mhm.
know if that's a reach, but that's kind of how I'm looking at that.
That's interesting. Omni, did you hear everything Venus said?
Yeah, but
Welcome Omni to the
I got a
stage.
different
What you got on that?
take. What's going on, people? Good to be back. Listen, that's how. This is a perspective a lot of people are overlooking. That's how Candace perceives her marriage. Her husband might perceive it a little bit differently.
Mm.
Like, when we're talking about, um, when we're talking about, intelligence brings in resources. It's a measure of competency. And the the tax bracket that you will find yourself in at some point is reflective of how competent you are. Now, her husband is a CEO. Candace herself is not the CEO of the company that she just got removed from. So I would say that Candace is still, as a woman, talking from a hypergamous standpoint because she values intelligence because she knows that that will eventually bring in resources at some point for the man. So she can contextualize it how she wants to, but still at the end of the day, she's choosing based off of a metric that men are typically judged by, and she wants someone that's essentially better than her. She just didn't say it, as most women will not, but she wants a man that is in effect her superior. She didn't go for another influencer like herself. She went for she bagged the CEO.
Venus, what do you think about that?
So I was just looking because I'm just trying to understand, right? Just a quick little like Google thing. And it says researchers found a positive correlation between partners' objective IQ scores. This would suggest that people tend to seek romantic relationships with people who have a similar intellect to their own. And then it says, do people with similar IQs get along better? This is where I was talking about yesterday with the personality and how I could see even cohabitating with someone who thinks like you would seem to be a more of a harmonious environment, right? And
Mhm.
so it says, generally speaking, yes, there are exceptions, of course, and the range of similar for the purpose of friendships is fairly broad. Um, but yeah,
Mhm.
I think having a partner who has similar interest and intelligence levels makes conversations more fulfilling and stimulating. And I think we look past
Indeed.
this because it seems like such a small detail, but think about the amount of time you have to spend with someone versus the amount of time you can be physical with them. So we have to like stop pretending like, yeah, sex is important, but that's not even what you guys are going to spend the majority of your time doing. So when people act like nothing else matters, maybe you're not really looking at those other things that your woman or man adds to your life. But yeah, fulfilling conversations, mentally stimulating you is important, especially if you have to spend a long period of time around somebody. And so this goes back to IQ, right? Because if your IQ is so much below mine, or maybe too much above mine, I don't know if I can stimulate you mentally, or you can stimulate me mentally. So then now we would be quote unquote not incompatible. I don't know.
I'm trying to process that. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, right? Okay, let me ask Omni. Omni, when you're looking for a woman, or when you were looking for a woman, were you what was the first thing you were looking for? Was it appearance, or was it something intrinsic?
Oh, it's usually appearance.
And that's
Yeah.
my thing. That's why I have to keep disagreeing, because I think we filter first based upon the appearance. Like you like
Mhm.
Jonathan, you like Jonathan Majors because he's quote unquote sexy to you. It's
Hell
not
yeah.
intellect. He looks he kind of as dumb as fuck so far
Oh my god.
in terms of his actions. He's
He's not.
kind of stupid in terms of his actions. We got to admit, right? But the body, you love his body. You love it.
I've been here before. Let me tell you what happens and why I agree with her. I can be drawn in because I'm attracted. But once I get enough mental exchange with you, I can easily be turned off. Easily.
I hear you, right? I hear you. But this is the part I don't believe. The part I don't believe is if he's treating you right, he looks like that, the pipe is right, he's a provider. You're not gonna leave this nigga because he doesn't have a high IQ.
Well, who's to say I have a high IQ, right? It
I'm
just
just
had to
saying.
be some IQ similar to mine, right? That was
Okay,
her statement. So if my IQ ain't the highest, then yeah, that whatever that might be acceptable for me because we kind of on similar vibrations. Listen, let me say something to freaking Sugar Bum and Sing. Every time I confess my love for Jonathan Majors, y'all always do this. You know, y'all just hating on me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just mad. Y'all just want my man.
look, okay,
You want my man.
let's say everything else I said was true about him being a provider. Pipe work is good, everything, but he's very stupid. He's very
I
stupid.
don't think that would be able to work. I'm just honest to God. For a person like me, I promise you that would only last so long. It wouldn't work. See what I'm saying?
I
You see
see
how they attack the black woman and the
that,
black
but
man?
see, that's what I don't believe. Like when the guys be like, I wouldn't date her, she's a baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Or
I'm telling you, I would date him, but I'm telling you, just knowing my personality, over time, he would irritate me, and I would not be able to control my responses, and I would get very mean.
but
And
no,
then
what if
so
he's
I
not
know that.
irritating though? And I'm saying, what if he's not irritating, but there's a big gap in terms of intellect? You know what I'm saying? Like he's not irritating. There's nothing bad that presents itself. It's just that he's just not the sharpest knife in the drawer. That's all. It's
But
nothing
then
irritating.
only speaking for me, my personality type, that alone would irritate me because I do unfortunately hold men at a certain standard, and I will lose respect for you. Like if I have to
There
look
we
at
go.
my man and constantly tell myself, well, you know, he's kind of stupid. That I'm not going to be able to respect that man. I won't.
I'm the same situation. A fine woman, she getting to the money. She matches you in the bedroom. She is fit, feminine, and friendly. She is not the most intellectual woman, but y'all make it work. Are you gonna stay with her or are you gonna leave her?
She could be dumb as a box of rocks as long as she do what I say. That's
But you see the difference
that's
with
it.
men and what you prioritize and what women, and Omni could be easily saying that because he's not looking to a woman for leadership, right? He's not looking to a woman for
Very
protection,
true.
right?
Yeah.
So he might not have to consider any of that. But women, on the other hand, we do have to consider that.
No, but I'm saying in my scenario, he's a protector. He's all those things. He's just not what we would call traditionally a very intellectual person. And you are far more intellectual than he is. You love books, you love poetry, you love to go to plays and things like that. You love museums and all that shit. He likes sports, and he likes to go to work and work hard and provide for you and love
Sh-
you.
Sean,
Give
if
you
I may, and Venus, if I may, um, Sean, I think what Venus is saying is it's like you're on a plane, right? And you're a passenger on the plane. This is the woman's experience of this dynamic. It's like you're a passenger on the plane, but the pilot has really bad hand tremors.
mm.
Like, like he might be able to fly the plane. He probably has every single day for the past, you know what I'm saying, 2 decades. He's fly the plane, flew it perfect. But if you're a new passenger on that plane and the pilot got hand tremors, every time the plane shakes, you're gonna be looking at the pilot. You're gonna be like, "Are we good? What's going on?" Because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. It might be a bumpy ride in that dynamic. That's all I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna stay on that plane. Why? Because that's the only way I can get to my destination. But I get what you're saying. I get what Venus is saying too.
Look, the ladies even telling you, Keisha, like me either. Something with women, a lot of women naturally would not. At some point, she would lose respect. It's just what it is. She would.
I hear you. All right. So look, what if, let's just say this, right? Because what we're talking about is whether or not there's a gap in intellect. What if you, not saying you, what if the person is just an average intellectual too, average to below average?
Then it works, right? Because it wasn't that he has to have an high or he or she has to have a high IQ. She just said people who tend to marry have similar. So if we both are kind of stupid, then it would be great because we're relatable. We function in a similar way. We think in a similar way. But if I'm just way more advanced than you or you way more advanced than me, then it might be an issue. Maybe I don't know if it's so much for men, but then I guess it just depends on the men. Because when I look at like um high like super like high earners, corporate dudes, whatever, typically their wives are not far away from them. They're not. If you really look at that, they don't marry stupid women. They don't.
Very true.
They never. So I kind of agree with her. Like if we really dig into who's marrying who intentionally, those men do not go get. They could easily go get a beautiful airhead. They don't do that. They might cheat with that, but they align themselves with a very a woman who can add value in other ways.
Yeah, adding value is not the same as the IQ thing, but I agree with that part. But look, okay, so we talked about this last night on Venus's show. If y'all miss Venus's show every Saturday night, Venus goes live, and last night was a great conversation, which has inspired this conversation. Also, can y'all please do me a favor? Venus, can you please put your channel in the chat? I need y'all to follow Venus. If you're not, she needs like 20-some followers to get to 1,000, and we want to help Venus get to 1,000. Whoever is the 1,000th person, I got a cash app for you. Whoever's the 1,000th person, Venus, let me know whoever is number 1,000 if we can get there.
Okay.
So please drop your link. We want to get Venus to 1,000. She had a great conversation last night. My bad. So damn, I lost my train of thought. Based on that.
No, you said when I said add value, you said it doesn't have to necessarily be related to IQ, but maybe I shouldn't have said add value. But my overall point was if we look at highly successful men, their wives are usually very smart also.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say. I think people date within their proximity, right? So say, for instance, when I got back to Chicago, and I hate saying this a million times, but it's true. Shout out to my brother Akari. He brought me into the Chicago Urban League. Which most urban leagues have a young black professional sector, and it's like this group, and they do a lot of activities together, a lot of programs and things like that. So within that, lots of people. There were accomplished people who had great jobs, people who were entrepreneurs, people who were professionals. But of that, I'm looking for who's the prettiest. So it just so happens that within that group, like my brother Kari, he met his wife Helen in that group, and Helen is she's beautiful. She's also smart. They have beautiful children that are really smart, smart girls too. But she, she met his standard in terms of looks. But she also was super fun, funny, kicked it with the guys and all that type of stuff. I think that's why I think it's more of a proximity thing. I don't think in a search on Christian Mingle or something like that, somebody is looking for intellect. I think I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at your avatar. I'm looking at your avatar. And then from there, then it's like, okay, cool. Let's see what this is about.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's denying that. The physical clearly has to be first. But again, just like, well, I can speak for myself. As easily as I could love Jonathan Majors, I could spend and I have 5 minutes with a person and that shit disappears. Disappears. Like he's just way too ignorant. He's way too ghetto. He's way too whatever. That I'm just like, oh hell fucking no. I cannot. I don't even want to have another conversation with him. So maybe it depends on the person, but I'm telling you, like my personality type, if I pick up on you're just dumb and you can't mentally stimulate me, I don't really have any use for you, for real.
I hear what you're saying, but what I would like to present, if I may, to the people is Exhibit A. This guy was. Woo! Lord.
That was a bad. That was a bad angle.
Lord, that's the bad angle.
Why y'all always hating on
this your man, son?
It's a bad angle, man.
Hold on. Where's that other one? What's the good angle? You see something that looks like the good angle on here? Which one is the good angle?
I have to find a good angle for y'all because I'm tired of this shit. Let me see something.
I'm just saying,
everybody has a bad photo, you know.
Which one is this? Is this one of the bad ones?
Let me see.
I don't know.
Man, why y'all can't just let Jonathan be great? You know what I'm saying? You always gotta hate.
I don't know. I'm just trying to say that. You know what I'm saying?
See, so that should let y'all know I value other things over good looks. Then, if y'all want to put it that way.
No, you say you like his body. You just ain't saying it right now.
Body, and good lord.
I'm just saying, right? So look, this the other thing, right? This is how I know women are full of shit. Men are too, but we talking about y'all.
You're just having a hard time wrapping your head around it. It's actually funny. This just lets me know you're just so shallow. You can't even conceptualize what I'm saying. That's why you can't. It's like it's not registering because you're just a shallow person.
Yes, guilty.
But everyone's really not. That's the thing. You are, but everyone's really not.
I think a lot of people are.
A lot of them are, but not everybody.
Here's another thing, right? This guy. You know this guy?
Let me see.
You know that gentleman?
Yes. That's Michael B. Jordan, right?
It is, right? It is. All it took was some muscles for him to be
facial hair and for him to grow into his manhood, and it's lit.
All it took was some goddamn muscles, and that's it. Just admit that your man's looks kind of wild to face, but you know.
Y'all stay trying to come in between my love with Jonathan, but it will never die ever.
Nah, I feel you. Did you?
I don't think she reads Shawn. Who? He can't be talking about me.
I don't know who they talking about.
He said Venus, a garbage man that treats her like a queen, but he stumbles over the words in a Dr. Seuss book. What are you gonna do? Stay or go? It depends on the woman. I don't know. Some women will stay. Let me be clear. Some women will stay. It depends on the priorities. She might be like, hey, my bills are paid. He treated me right. I don't give a damn. I just ain't gonna take him nowhere because he's embarrassing. But other than that, we straight. You know?
It's crazy.
It's like y'all ever saw that Tyler Perry movie? I forgot what it was. But when the woman would bring her man to the events with her, he would be stuttering and shit. He couldn't keep up with the conversations. He's just like not that guy. And so she
Oh,
ended up like,
he couldn't get the count right. Yeah, he couldn't get the count right. He was dumb on that show. My bad. Now, what'd you say? I'm sorry. So you said she brings a man, and what happens? He kept stuttering.
yeah, he would get nervous around other men when she would bring him to the corporate events, or he just couldn't. I think it was Janet Jackson in that movie. I don't know. I can't remember what movie. But
I've
yeah,
Oh shoot. With damn, what's his name? Because he was on New York Undercover. He was one of the cops on New York
Malik
Undercover.
Yoba.
Malik Yoba, yeah. I forget the
yeah, it was
name of the
kind of
movie
like
though.
that. You see how she would be embarrassed in public because even her peers, right? She's in corporate. Her peers are corporate. They're at the company functions, and whenever another man like her peers would come up and approach him, it was embarrassing once he opened his mouth.
Yeah, but it doesn't really work the same way for women because in that dynamic, you know what I'm saying? Like men will show up with a hot chick or an escort, and they treat him like a king. She ain't got to say two words.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I mean, but let's just So I do want to put a pin in the ultimate conversation. Are we? Omni, did I ask you about whether or not you think women are children? Did I ask you about that topic?
You did not.
What's your opinion on that?
I think we've had enough conversations. You know what I mean? This is the this is the thing. I'm trying to find a better way to say it because when I say it, I feel like I'm performing exorcisms. Because when I be speaking to guys honest, it's just like demons come out of nowhere. But all right, women. The best way I could put it is that women would like to enjoy the accountability of children. Women want the accountability of children. So they want to be respected as men. They want to be respected as men, but they want the accountability of children. That means whatever goes wrong, whatever happens, they don't really want to own it, stand on it, and have to fall on the sword as men uh, are called to do. But when shit goes tits up, but they want somebody else to alleviate them of responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Even Venus, who used to say all the time, she said it herself. She used to say all the time that she would be happy being independent. She doesn't really, but now she's of the mindset where she would like she would like somebody to take the load off of her. You know what I'm saying? Because the world was built for shoulders, not hips. It is what it is.
That makes sense. And I know with her, like she's one of the people who like she's gonna keep working her businesses and things like that. She's gonna keep building things.
For
But
sure.
I do think like I can imagine. You know what's crazy for us? It's hard to even imagine being the recipient of that. Like just being willing to like think like, you know what, I'm gonna find me another human being and they're gonna take care of it all. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to even imagine like having that stream of thought. But for them, I do get it. That's why the part where he was saying like basically Mr. Lego was pretty much saying like, the man should take care of everything so that the woman is free to explore all the things that she wants to explore, to live out her childhood dreams and things like that. I get why he's saying that. I'm not saying I agree with him or disagree with him, but I get why he's saying that. I get what he's saying. I do
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, I caught that part and I'm like, okay, she could be taken care of, but facilitating your childhood dreams, I don't know, because from a business perspective, it might come with a lot of risks. You know what I'm saying? Like your childhood dreams might be, uh, I don't know. Well, 50 made a great point when he was talking about something similar. He was like, Yeah, if you want to sell peanuts if you want to sell peanuts, I'm gonna look at you crazy. But if you're talking about specifically selling peanuts in a stadium and you have a fully fleshed out business plan and whatnot, now the talk is different. But usually, when you get hit with the childhood dreams, it usually comes from a childlike place, and the childlike place doesn't comprehend business ethics whatsoever. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think too, like for me personally, I like a woman that I can turn up. For me, just in general, like I've been mentoring and stuff for so long that I always look at human capital. I'm always looking at
Mm,
the people around me, the people I come in contact with, and I'm trying to, even as we think about the shows that I'm working on, like I'm looking at people like who is somebody I can utilize for this show or that show. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. And so even with women, so my thing is like looking at the things that you are good at or that you could potentially be good at and seeing how we could take advantage of that. Because the one skill I really have in life, well, one of the skills is being able to see opportunities in places where they don't currently exist. And so when I see those, it's just a matter of, okay, just like, you know, my chick, I'm desperately trying to get her to do a cooking show. Like she went to culinary school and things like that. She has
mm.
all this personality. So I really want her to do a cooking show. That's like a podcast. That's like cooking and things like that, you know, but for whatever reason, she's kind of nervous and things like that. So yeah, I just feel like in terms of a guy, I feel like it's our job to set the table, to give things direction, to give things structure, to say, you know what do you think about this? Even if, like, let's just say, for instance, as a man, if you're paying all the bills and things like that, and she has money coming in, even me personally, I think like, here's my strategic plan. This is what I think we should do, how aggressively we should invest, put money into our investments and things like that. It's not just like you just bring your money in and you go fuck it off going shopping. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, um, a lot of I say people in general don't know what they ask when they're asking for stuff or what they want to do. But like how you are with yours, I am with mine. Like every time that she hits me with an idea, I try to make a business out of it. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, that it's interesting. It's interesting. I think I think women typically want to come up with the idea, but they depend on other people to figure out the nuts and bolts of it. In most cases, I'm not gonna say all cases, but in most cases, and just like you were talking about the social capital, I think uh, that is just embedded in like for you as a man, that was a skill that had to be developed because what's usually communicated to us as men is that we're supposed to do everything ourselves and get it all ourselves. But I think in the dynamics that women find themselves in from a young age, that's pretty much how they have to operate, is to delegate and get other people to act on their behalf. I think that just comes as a part of being the feminine part of the species. Oh, you're muted, bro.
my bad. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I do think I think some societal norms, I think they exist for a reason, and I think they make sense. Because even I just think about me, man, like having a daughter. I think about how I want her life to be. Like for me, I know I'm gonna take care of her to some degree her whole life. Not saying she's going to need me to, but I want to provide for her, whether you know, being an advisor, whether it's, you know, gifts, whether it's guidance, no matter what it is, I always want to provide for my daughter. So I do want her to have a certain type of guy. I want her to have a type of guy that has to provide a mindset, but he also has to, for me, he has to have a mindset where he likes to multiply money. And I don't want her to have to be some woman that's at home just doing nothing, taking care of kids and shit like that. You know, I think me and her mom, I think our job is to empower her and to guide her to where she can be a boss herself, to where she is really thriving herself. Because one thing we know for sure, marriages, they end, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes you see women and it's like, damn, they don't know what to do. They're trying to get back out here in society. They're trying to date again. They're trying to, retool in terms of education and things like that. So a lot of times I'm just thinking like, I'm just thinking having a daughter has made me rethink how I feel about the man woman dynamic. So,
Mm.
Shawn that was out here fucking a bunch of bitches, quote unquote. I gotta say it like that, ladies. I'm sorry. Shawn that was out here doing that is different from Taylor's dad, Shawn. Completely different. So that's why a lot of times on these conversations, guys be like, nigga, you simping. I'm like, nah, my brain just goes to my child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's 17, who's going to be 18 at the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'm able to see both sides of it all. So like I'm saying, I think men should set a structure, set the framework. They should be the point guard. And I do think that it's up to us to put our lady in position. And hopefully as women, y'all are up to that. If your guy suggests some things, just be open to it. Be open to him, leading you to doing something that may be outside of your comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? It may be something that's going to be hard in the beginning, but it's going to be beneficial to everybody in the end. So just allow yourself to be led. That's all I'm trying to say on that.
It makes the most sense. I gotta get out of here, but it was good talking to you, bro.
Same, bro. Definitely appreciate it. See you next week. And tomorrow, man, we talking about politics too. If you're around tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Okay, I'll see if I can make it. Peace.
I have a good one, bro. And so then there was one. So look, y'all. I want to put a bow on it. This was not meant to be a long stream because we have Lucky's stream at 7:30 Central Time. And y'all know every week her show is going up. She has a good topic this week. So please make sure that you're tapping in with Lucky's show at 7:30. Please go and follow Venus. I need some followers, y'all. I need some followers. I need like 20 something followers to get to 400. Your boy is in the beginning. I'm struggle streaming. I'm still just figuring this shit out, y'all. This is the funny thing, because I like to be honest with y'all. I hate being on camera. I hate being in front of people. I hate hearing my voice. I never go back and listen to my shows because I hate seeing myself and hearing myself. It's the weirdest shit in the world, I think, but I don't know. I'm just like that, right? So this for me, I want y'all to know, this for me is therapeutic, and it's also an exercise for me in getting outside of my comfort zone. So I do want to ask y'all, what are you doing to get out of your current comfort zone? What are some things that you can do to better yourself, to move yourself forward? Me personally, a lot of what I do with me being in the fashion world and things like that, me starting one of the businesses that I've started is based on public speaking. The other one is based on people presenting businesses and things like that. Everything that I do, the things I make money off of, it involves me being in front of people. Small story. After I got back into my second high school, please pardon me if I told y'all this story before, but there's a point to me telling it right now. Got back in my second high school, and somehow I ended up being valedictorian. So I had to give a valedictory speech. I got up there to do my speech, and I was so emotional. And probably emotional and nervous. I couldn't even get my speech. Somebody had to step in. Somebody had to step in and give my speech for me because I was that emotional and that nervous. I'd never been in front of people like that before. So to be in this auditorium and look out at the crowd and see all these people looking at me, to be somebody who was seen just a year before that as a loser, somebody whose life wasn't going nowhere, to be somebody who, man, went through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who went through a lot, somebody who was just laying there in the hospital shot not long before that. I had a lot of emotion. So I couldn't even finish my speech. So I say all that to say that for me doing this, I'm not concerned about, if y'all notice, you don't see me promoting a lot. I don't even promote this to people I know. Like on Facebook, I always got 5,000 friends maxed out. Instagram, I got over 5,000 or whatever, organic. But for me, I'm just trying to get the repetitions. I'm trying to get my courage up. I'm trying to get my delivery right. I'm trying to be better before I invite the people I know in real life. One of my shows, I'll just tell you, it's called Mimosas with Moguls. So maybe on Instagram, you'll see me from one of my other accounts, follow you, and it'll say Mimosas with Moguls. A lot of what I plan to do is going to be sitting down with people in real life. So I'm a person who's accomplished certain things in life. And so my network is a crazy network with a crazy net worth, especially with me being a part of a fraternity. Shout out to the Alphas, and shout out to DB for talking shit in the chat. And this is some straight bullshit. Southern ain't shit. It's Grand Fam all day. Nah, but I'm a person with a great network. But hopefully, for y'all can consider this same thing. I never tap into my network unless it's necessary. I just never do. I never do. So I never tap into my network until it's necessary. So right now, I am getting my reps in. So y'all are seeing me. This is like when comedians go to some comedy place and they trying to work out their material before it becomes a big special or something like that. That's what y'all see me doing. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to be consistent, which y'all know I got a problem being consistent. Speaking of which, tomorrow, not pushing this shit back no more, y'all. I don't care if it's just me there talking to me tomorrow night. This is what we're talking about at 8 p.m. Should Black people vote for Trump? Politics is one of my favorite things to study and follow and talk about. And so I just want y'all to know, for all of you Trumpers, right? I'm just trying to facilitate a conversation, right? I'm trying to facilitate a conversation. What I want to know, the first thing that I want to do, facilitate a conversation. Second thing, yes, DB, is going to happen. I don't care if it's just me and you there. Tomorrow we're talking about it. I want to facilitate a conversation. Next, I want to find common ground. I think too often in politics, we allow ourselves to be polarized. We allow ourselves to either be on the left or be on the right. But I do think a lot of times most of our interests exist somewhere in the middle, right? So we want to start off tomorrow by trying to figure out, in terms of Trump, what did he do anything that benefited us? Did he do anything that directly benefited Black people? Because to be honest, I only give a shit about how it affects us, right? I don't care about what tax bracket I'm in. That's cool, whatever. I care about Black people as a whole. Did it benefit us, right? And so my main thought on this is that Black people, we shouldn't be Democrats or Republicans. We should be able to formulate a list of demands. And whoever the fuck, once we slide that list in the middle of the table, whoever the fuck comes back with the best offer, that's who gets our vote. And along the way, you're going to have to come and sit down with us because you're going to have to respect us. You can't wait until October to come around and promise us some shit that you're not going to do. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. So tomorrow, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to examine Trump a little bit more, and we're going to see how we feel about voting for him. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Luxury. I create all my own thumbnails. I'm a real graphic designer, not a Canva graphic designer, but I use Canva too. But yeah, let's see what my girl Jada says. She said exactly. DB said, I agree with that, but Black people can't get in alignment. You know what, DB? I think that's a good point. So part of what I did in Chicago is I did community organizing as well. The funny thing about community organizing is that you don't need everybody, right? So my job as a community organizer is not to require everybody. It's to identify the people who can get the other people to move. Is to identify the people who can get the other people to move. So let's say it starts block by block. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create block clubs. And so I want to go to that block and I want to say, damn, on this block, my girl Jada, shit, she's the one. She's popular. She's a leader, and people fuck with her. So I want you to do. I need you to be the president of this block club. And so when it's time for us to mobilize, I need you to get your people to move. I need you to get your people in line. And it happens like that. I had the privilege of working on the Obama campaign, his first campaign in 2008. And that's exactly what we did. We went block by block, grassroots, Chicago, going out to greater Illinois, going out to Indiana and things like that. And you got to see block by block how things were really built. Right. And that was the first time I saw crowdfunding up close. One of the other things I plan to do, which hopefully y'all will take advantage of this, either take part of it or take advantage of it. One of the other things I want to do is this concept that we call pitch deck. And I've gotten some of my friends willing to be a part of it, but hopefully some of you guys will want to be a part of it. So what I want to do, right? Let's say if my girl Keisha has an idea, or let's just say if Luxury Bucket List has an idea or a business that she wants to present and she needs an investment. I want her to be able to present it to us, and I want us to crowdfund it, right? And I ain't saying we're gonna crowdfund the whole thing. I'm saying, like, let's just say if you need $3,000, right, in seed money, you know, we can say, you know what, we heard her pitch, and so now I have $50, I have $100. Let's just put it in this pot that can go towards her. What she'll get with that, it'll act kind of like a small business incubator, accelerator, depending on how you want to look at it. It'll go in this pot. What you'll get access to this money, but you will also get mentorship from whoever in this community or in our network can give you mentorship for 3 months. So one of my things is I'm tired of people on YouTube just talking shit. I'm tired of people on YouTube just criticizing people. I'm tired of people calling people losers. I'm tired of people just sitting on a high horse with resources and don't want to share. Me personally, I want to share. You know how easy it is to fuck off $100? It's nothing for me to, and I'm not acting like I'm a billionaire or something like that, but we do have resources, right? It's nothing for me to say, all right, Keisha, you presented something that's good. I got the first 100. Who got the second 100? You know why? Because I sit and we watch each other pay money to kick people off of a fucking YouTube panel. We pay money to kick people off a YouTube panel. Now, if I'm a person who says I'm about community, and I am more willing to kick Keisha off of a YouTube panel than I am to invest in Keisha's business, then I'm a whole fuck nigga. And y'all can just consider me a fuck nigga if I'm like that, right? But I want y'all to start to challenge people. When I roll this out, I want y'all to challenge people, your favorite YouTubers, the niggas who around here saying they got bread, which I don't doubt that they do. I want y'all to challenge them to be a part of that. I want y'all to challenge them to not use their money to kick somebody off a panel. Use that $100 or whatever that number is to invest in somebody's dream. And I'm not talking about investing in exchange for an equity stake or anything like that. The only thing we get in return is the feeling of knowing that we were able to help somebody within our community. And we can use those things as a test case to say, this is what we do on this side. We don't just argue, we help one another, right? So that's how I see it on the ground level. You being able to present your idea, us making an initial investment, and then after that 3 months, I want you to be able to come back, hopefully with your company scaled, with things more in alignment, and then you can have a real conversation with the individuals to see if they want to make an equity investment, if that's what you want. And that's going to be called the pitch deck. So that's what I plan to do. You know why? Because I don't like just fucking talking. I hate people who just talk and talk shit. But I definitely appreciate y'all for kicking it with your boy. Keisha said the bounty system is a collection plate. It is. It's a collection plate, and it's a very good business model in terms of, you know, getting the cash infusion. I respect it. You know, it works how it works. I get it. Me personally, I just come here for the conversations, though. I really do come here for the conversations. I do. So I'm not shitting on nobody who does a bounty. Like, you know, shit. Shout out to Fight Club, my people. It is funny when people get dropped. Shout out to Fatty, that's my guy. Shout out to AO. Shout out to Israel. Shout out to Sharon. Everybody who may do a bounty, but you do see a lot of people. Some people have shows, just like Fatty's show today, like where there is no bounty. You know what I'm saying? So that the conversation can happen too. So shout out to them for diversifying too. But yeah, it can be like a collection plate for sure, Keisha. Shout out to my boy Little Podcast, aka Beans, who hates the bounty system. So yeah, I'm glad you're looking forward to it, Lux. I hope I can roll that out next month. I'm thinking May at the latest, but hopefully next month, because we want to be able to help as many people as possible. But with that said, hey, my girl loves C. Yo, Chicago is in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Got my first person from the space to commit. Shout out to my girl Love C that says she'll support the effort. She said, hey, Shawn, I'll support the pitch deck effort. I had someone ask me what was stopping me from moving forward with my business. They offered their business for me to pilot. It's been such a benefit. All right. That's dope. So now I gotta fast track this now. Y'all just motivated me. This conversation really motivated me to fast track that. Because I've been dragging my feet a little bit because a lot of shit been happening. But yeah. So, but I definitely appreciate y'all for coming through, coming through to kick it with me. Please hit subscribe if you hadn't subscribed yet, because I need more subscribers. My girl Jada is down. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna put this in my notes. Love C Jada. I'm gonna put y'all in my notes as people who are down, because I appreciate that. Because I really want us to be able to help as many people as we can. I remember, real quick story. So Lucky Show doesn't start till 7:30, but real quick story. Like, so now a lot of my videos are going to be pre-recorded. Shout out to my boy Killer in the building. A lot of my content is going to be pre-recorded, and a lot of it is going to be in person. Shout out to my boy Kasim, always in the building. Kasim, I need you to be a part of that pitch deck idea. I need you on the panel hearing some of these ideas so we can throw some money at some people's businesses. So a lot of times, so my second store was in Chicago, and a lot of times people wanted me to help them build their brands, their clothing brands and things like that, which the younger people I did. But you know, at some point you run into where it's like people do have to pay for certain information and things like that, which I'm not a person who's a gatekeeper. So I feel uncomfortable. Charging people for things a lot of times. But what I learned from that situation is that there are always people who need your tutelage. There are always people who could benefit from learning the things that you learned the hard way. So like one of my first videos I'm going to record that's pre-recorded is going to be how to start a clothing business with under $100. It's going to be how to start a clothing business with under $100. Which, my bad, y'all. I got props. How to start a clothing business with under $100. So I'm going to be able to show how you can get things like this. And how you can take things like this. And they can end up like what's on my shirt. And how you can work your way up to the things y'all see that are on my hoodies, like these patches, which started off looking like this, which as you can see is flimsy and everything like that. So I want to start giving information to people. Information that I learned the hard way and the expensive way. And I want us to start helping people with their businesses. So with that said, I appreciate y'all. No, I don't think women are children. I think in general, just to put a button on this whole conversation, no, I don't think women are children. I think in general, some people struggle with emotional regulation. Yes, my thumbnail and title was just to entice people. I think some people struggle with emotional regulation in general, and it's just a person thing. Most of these things we argue about on here, they're not gender specific. They're just not. So just wanted to put a button on that. So in the meantime, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate everybody who subscribes. Y'all see, I don't be coming on here asking y'all for no money. Whoever sends me money, it just goes towards my daughter's investment. So really don't make a difference like that. But tomorrow night, 8 p.m., we're going to be here talking about Trump. Should black people vote for Donald Trump? And I'm really going to come into it objectively, come into the situation objectively. But 8 p.m. tomorrow, if you want to be on the panel, feel free to DM me on IG. My IG is Shawn_Antonio, SHAWN_Antonio. DM me on IG if you want to, because I only want people that are serious about the conversation to be a part of it. This is not the conversation for somebody to come up there talking stupid shit, because there's too much at stake, right? And yes, I know I've been pushing this conversation back, DB. I'm sorry. Life has been lifing. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. In about 8 minutes, we're going to go over to Lucky's show, which is always entertaining. So I appreciate y'all. I hope everybody is having a great Sunday, and hope y'all have a great week. See y'all tomorrow.